The massive protests this weekend have really rattled Elon Musk, and this is why you need to get ready to start organizing locally. Bottom line up front, I am teaching a course on how to organize a local anti-fascist book club. Watch this video to understand why this is important and how you can register. If you sign up on our email list at veteransfightingfascism.org, we will send out the invite to the Zoom. The world's richest and most powerful man has been having a meltdown on Twitter for the last few days because this massive protest came on the back of him spending a ton of money in a special election, the Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin, and him losing by a wide margin despite the investment. So naturally, even though he has interfered with promoting far-right politics, not just in the United States, but globally for years now, by supporting extremist groups directly, by promoting extremist parties, and by buying Twitter and turning it into an extremist cesspool, this guy is the most powerful and dangerous extremist on the planet. Because the fact is, this guy could buy an army if he wanted to. Literally, like buy all of the military equipment and put everybody on payroll. But with these massive protests coming up and Tesla's stock tanking because of some of those protests, Elon Musk, he is trying to get the personal information of every American through the IRS, through Treasury, through the Department of Education, the Department of Veterans Affairs. And in the 21st century, there is no more valuable or effective weapon than information. The Trump-Musk White House has already been targeting, with executive orders, specific law firms that have represented clients that Donald Trump and Elon Musk don't like. And they're going to continue doing that type of thing. And before Musk was part of the picture, we know that Donald Trump has been using the IRS to target his political adversaries. Well, being surrounded by even more yes men and being empowered by the data that Musk and his doggy boys are collecting, this alliance between Trump and Musk is exponentially more dangerous than the last time that Trump was in the White House. So nonprofit organizations that support civil rights, that support freedom to protest, they are extremely likely to be targeted by Trump and Musk through things like the IRS, Department of Education, Treasury, you name it. We have already seen this happening to educational institutions losing hundreds of millions of dollars in grants in an effort to, and this has been successful, my alma mater, Columbia, has fallen, in an effort to force these institutions to enact fascist policies on the most local level. So objectively speaking, it is far easier for Trump and Musk to target the biggest organizations first. One of the organizations that is being targeted by Musk right now because of these protests is Indivisible. So very large, well-funded organizations like that, and very small ones like my own, we are far more likely to be targeted by things like the IRS than unofficial, locally organized community organizations that say don't raise or spend any money. And that is precisely why I want to teach you how to start an anti-fascist book club. Now, the book club is not just about reading. Yes, you're there to learn, but more than anything, the core purpose of it is to build community. Through the Anti-Fascist Book Club, through things like regular meetings, through setting up your own set of rules and operating as a small democracy, you start to learn who you can trust in your community, who you can rely on for certain things, and who is a specialist in what. And this is not just for able-bodied and young people. Not everyone needs to prepare for protests where you're going out in the street. Graphic artists play a role in organizing protests. They may never have to leave their desk. On the other side of that, there are people like nurses and doctors who may want to attend a protest to make sure that someone is on scene who can apply first aid if an extremist organization or the cops show up and violence occurs. So my organization, Veterans Fighting Fascism, has developed a suite of tools for any person, you don't need to be a veteran to do this, for any person to set up their anti-fascist book club. And we really hold your hand through the whole thing. We provide everything that you need to lead your first 6 group meetings. So let's say you do one group meeting every week. So you've got a month and a half of planning that you don't have to do other than scheduling and invitations and actually reading the instruction manual and using it to facilitate the organization. And I can promise you, after 6 weeks of bringing people together, sharing the knowledge that you're gaining from the books on the Antifascist Book Club list, you will need me no more. And that is the entire point. If something happens to me or something happens to this organization, Veterans Fighting Fascism, you don't have to rely on me. Not a lot of nonprofit organizations do this, but I don't want you to be dependent on me. I know that I am a target and that people being reliant on me and my leadership or my speaking out, that creates a vulnerability for them. So I'll be teaching this class one time. It will go up on YouTube where it'll be available forever. And I will embed it on Veterans Fighting Fascism homepage so that anytime you're watching this video, you'll be able to find it easily. So if you want to watch it live, if you want to connect with organizers, make sure that you go to veteransfightingfascism.org, you get on our email list, and we will send you invitations to this Zoom meeting. Elon Musk can't come after every anti-fascist book club in the country, especially if you are not a nonprofit, you're not raising or spending any money, and you're just operating in your own personal network. So as he continues to rage on Twitter, this should be a reminder that big organizations are likely to be targeted and you need to get organized locally now.